Welcome to your everyday math lesson for 5.8. On your lesson today, we're going to talk about using what we learned yesterday in 5.7 and applying it in a little bit of a different way. All right, so this is my paper. I'm going to use a whiteboard today, and I'm going to separate it into sections. And then I'm going to color some of those sections. What fraction of my page is shaded purple? If you said 2/3, you were correct. Now, I'm going to cut it a different direction. I'm also going to cut it into thirds, and I'm going to shade part of it in green. I shaded 2/3 of this page green, right? So now I want you to look at this picture. How many pieces are double shaded? How many pieces are double shaded? Your answer should have been a fraction, and it should have been 4/9. There are 4 pieces double shaded out of 9 total. So 4/9 of this page is double shaded. Now, I want you to think about this. What are the 2 fractions that I multiplied together in order to find my answer? What fraction of this whole page was shaded purple? What fraction was shaded green? So what 2 fractions did I multiply to find my answer? For this picture, I did 2/3 times 2/3. 2/3 of my page is purple. 2/3 of my page is green. If I multiply 2/3 times 2/3, my answer, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, is 4/9. That's how I would do this problem. We're going to use this idea today to go a little step further. All right, we're going to think about this paper folding method. We're going to think about some of the things that we've been learning, but we're going to take it to the next step. In your math workbook, we are going to be working on page 176 in your student math workbook volume 2. I'm going to redo this so it's nice and great. There we go. All right, we're going to start in our math workbook number 2, and we're going to look at the directions. It says the diagram shows one way to represent 2/3 times 2/3. It's separated into thirds this way with 2 of them shaded, thirds this way with 2 of them shaded. Okay. It's just like what we just did, only it's not double shaded. What they did is they took the part that was double shaded and they colored that in, and everything else they just left blank because we don't count them. So I'm going to show you what I mean with that in just a moment. First thing I want you to do is I want you to think about this piece in general. So looking at just this picture, what are the dimensions of the large square? So if I look at this large square, okay, how long is one side and how long is it tall? What are my dimensions? Blank units by blank units. For this one, what it's asking is basically, if this was a page, how many pages do I have for the whole side? 1 by 1. That's what it's asking. So right here, I would write 1 unit by 1 unit. What is the area of the large square? Well, what's 1 times 1? 1. What are the dimensions of the shaded rectangle? So now I'm just going to look at the shaded portion. So I'm going to label it just like I would a coordinate grid. So if this is 0 and this is 1, I know that this would be 1/3. That would be 2/3. 1/3, 2/3. So going over to my shaded portion is done. How far is it over? 2/3. How far is it up? 2/3. What is the area of the shaded rectangle? How many pieces are shaded? How many are there total? Done. It says write a multiplication number sentence for the area of the shaded rectangle. Again, how far did I go over? 2/3. How far did I go up? 2/3. And then I'm going to multiply. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. That's what it means when it says a multiplication number sentence. Now, we're going to use what we did in number 1 to help us with number 2 and number 3. The first thing that you're going to do, and it tells you right here, is label the blank tick marks on the number lines. So the very first thing you're going to do, and by the way, this is something you're going to have to do on your test. When you take your Unit 5 assessment, you will have to figure out what the fraction is, label it, and all of that stuff. So make sure you're paying attention to this, okay? So the first thing, I'm going to label the tick marks. So between 0 and 1, how many pieces are there? 2, 3, 4. So that means this would be 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. All right, going up, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. They're not always going to be the same, so be careful. 4 pieces going up, so 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. What are the dimensions of the shaded rectangle? Looking at this shaded rectangle, what would your coordinate pair, what would your ordered pair be? How far did I go over? How far did I go up? When looking at this picture, I see that I go over 1/4 and up 3/4. So my dimensions would be 1/4 unit by 3/4 unit. What is the area of the shaded rectangle? Hint, the square is 1 unit. So this big giant square is 1 unit. So you're going to figure out a fraction. What is, use multiplication fractions, you know how to do that. What is the area of the shaded rectangle? For this one, you are going to actually multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. 4 times 4 is 16. So your answer would be 4 over 16. But I'm sorry, 3 over 16. But you also could look at the picture. How many are shaded? 3. How many are there total? 16. That's how I got my fraction. So you could multiply straight across, absolutely. But if you are a visual person and you need to see what this looks like, this is your picture that would show you. Okay? What is my multiplication number sentence that we used? You know this. I've already done it with you. What is the multiplication number sentence we used for this problem? Excuse me. For this question, you did 1/4 times 3/4 equals 3/16. That's how you do that problem. All right, let's try the next one. Here we go. Number A says label the blank tick marks. All right, I want you to label the tick marks on your picture. Then I want you to figure out, just like we did up here, what is the unit for the dimensions of my shaded rectangle. So label your picture and then write your unit. All right, here we go. I see that this is in thirds. So 1/3, 2/3. I see that there are 4 pieces going up. So 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. And now I can figure out my units. How far did I go over? 2/3. How far did I go up? 2/4. So my units, you should have chosen, or you should have written 2/3 unit by 2/4 unit. All right, what is the area of my shaded rectangle? You should know how to do this by now. What is the area of my shaded rectangle? All right, there are 4 shaded spots. There are 12 total spots, so my answer is 4/12. To double check my answer, I am going to do the multiplication. I'm going to do 2/3 times 2/4. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 4 is 12. 4/12. Awesome. Let's go on and look at page 177. Now, This time, it's not labeled, but the lines are drawn for us at least. Sometimes they won't draw the lines. They're just going to give you a blank piece of paper or a blank square. So at least they drew the lines. Okay? So it says, follow these steps using the diagram at the right to help you multiply 3/4 times 2/6. Now, do we know how to do 3/4 times 2/6? Absolutely. I know you can find that answer right now. I know, and you know, that we can figure that answer out quickly. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 6 is 24. Done. But you have to know the steps, and you have to know what it looks like. Okay? Again, this is something that will be on your test. Okay? So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to label the blank tick marks on the horizontal number line. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 sections. So labeling my tick marks, I will go 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. Done. Label the blank tick marks on the vertical number line. All right, how many sections do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6. Done. Shade the rectangle that is blank units long. All right, so going across, how long? I'm sorry, going up first. It wants us. I don't like how this question is worded, just being completely honest. I wish that it was units wide and units long, because according to this, it wants us to do it that way. All right, so I want you to go ahead and we're going to write it in that order for now. I just, like I said, I don't like how this question is actually formatted. I want to look and see if that's even how they did it. Yeah, that's how they worded it too. So we're going to do 3/4 by 2/6. All right, let's shade that rectangle. The way that we do this is we, again, use it like an ordered pair. Use it like a coordinate. Go over to 3/4, and I put a dot. Go up to 2/6, and I put a dot. I put a dot where they meet. And guess what? Now we have our rectangle that we can shade. Done. That's a good way to do this question. What is the area of the shaded rectangle? Well, there are 6 shaded. There are 24 total. That means we did it right. Use these steps to help you. All right. Problem 2 and 3. We're going to do one. I want to make sure that it's shaded correctly. Again, this is on your test. First, label the blank tick marks. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's fifths going across. 3/5. I'm sorry. 1/5. 2/5. 3/5. 4/5. Going up, we have 1/3. We have 2/3. What is my area in square units? First, let's find our coordinates. I'm going to show you 2 options for this. And you need to help me figure out which option is correct. Option 1 looks like this. Option 2, over to 3/5, up to 2/3, right here. Which one is correct? My green shading or my red shading? Which one is actually exactly like the question says? Green or red? If you say the red shading matches, you are absolutely correct. The reason why the red shading matches is because, remember, we have to do the dimensions that this tells us. So I have to go over to 3/5, up to 2/3, and shade that square. This is what it should look like. Now, shading it the other way, did I still have 6 pieces shaded? Yes, but it does not look the same. You must do it this way. All right? What fraction is shaded? 6 out of 15. 2 times 3 is 6. 5 times 3 is 15. Done. I want you to do number 3. I want you to shade the picture on your own, label the picture on your own, and find your answer in square units. When you're done, click your answer in the box below. All right, here we go. We're going to go 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. All right, I'm going to go over to 5/6 and put a dot. Up to 3/4 and put a dot. And there is my rectangle. That's what I need to shade. How many pieces are shaded? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Wait, guess what? I messed up. I didn't shade the right one. I said it's supposed to be 1/4, not 3/4. My bad. 1/4. I'm sorry, guys. My 1/4 is right here. My bad. All right, now let's try it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces are shaded. And there are 24 pieces total. 5 times 1 is 5. 4 times 6 is 24. There you go. That's where you're going to do this question. Now, when we're doing area model, again, on your test, you will have to shade one that is almost exactly like this. Use those 2 points as your coordinates. And it makes the rectangle for you. Again, go over to 5/6, go up to 1/4, put a dot where they match, and look, now you see your 4 corners of your rectangle. Same thing here. Over to 3/5, up to 2/3, and now you have all 4 corners of your rectangle. Use that to help you. All right? Have a great day, guys. I hope this lesson is reaching you well, and I hope that you have an enjoyable day. Bye.